tucks into position number 2. Matty Payne up into 3rd position, and Brody sits in behind him. But Waters has made a ripping start on the run into turn 2.
It looked like Feeney got the original jump, but the second phase of the start was far better. Oh, big slide. Now, I think he might have got hit there. I reckon Mostert might have given the back of Payne a rub there and moved him wide, and they've ended up making contact in the middle. So this now is Mostert down the outside of Kostecki. There are a couple of hard charges.
And there was a huge slide from Chaz there through turn 3 where you make the gear change. Remember, in cold tyres, they're depressured at this part of the race, and everybody running wide through the exit of turn 5 as they elbow each other on the run into 6.
I reckon Randall tried to get down the inside of both of them there. So we'll have to have a little look. Did he get it done or not? It looked like he was going to dive down the inside of both cars at turn 6.
Will Brown's made some ground. He's up into position 9, and in fact he's motocrossing out there on the outside of Corporate Hill at turn 7. Chucks heaps of rocks at those behind, but rescues it back onto the asphalt. Curb cam action out of turn 8, where they have to respect those track limits as well. And that action back at turn 6, it gets no closer than that, as they were absolutely rubbing side to side. End of the first standing lap here. We've got Waters, Feeney, Payne, Kostecki, Mostert, who's made ground, then Randall, Heimgartner, Fullwood, Brown and Wood.
Now this is the replay of the start. Their initial jump for Feeney was slightly better, but then a lot of wheel spin by Brock, and Cam was able to drive by him.
And Fullwood caught my eye down the inside there in the middies entry back at the back end of the top 10. But have a look at the margin that Waters had. So there's a little flinch there from Brock, but he was stationary as the lights changed. But the secondary portion of the stop, as you pointed out, for Waters was a beauty. And then he just continued to skip away and was able to choose his line cam Waters down into turn 2. Riding here with Brody Kostecki out of position number 4 through turn 1. It's such a battle to get the things wrestled through turn 1 on a cold tyre. And he goes up onto the outside here of Payne through turn 2. And there's a bit of contact here. They interlock wheels, and there may have been another player involved in that from in behind. Here's the viewpoint. Actually, it was just an awkward interconnect there, wasn't it? So it was just, Chaz was the next in the queue. And then he had the big slide going here over the top of the hill. And the problem for him is he had to clear the throttle to be able to stop it from going out onto the dirt. But he tries to stay there, but he falls down the camber of the road. Stays there again through the left-hander at 5. He's hanging on by his fingernails here.
This is Randall. We're on board with Randall. That's when I said he was going to go down there. But he didn't.
Chaz did everything he could then. He was clutching to the position on the wrong side of the road and managed eventually to drop back in. And this is Will Brown surfing wide on the exit at turn 7, cold tyres. And it's very easy to end up just slightly offline through that part of the racetrack. Ooh, and that's the onboard view for him. Doesn't look as bad on board. They're plucking Bryce Fullwood out of the queue. He was sitting in 7th position. Matty Payne's come in here as well, Mark. So when you're in that nose-to-tail scenario, whatever the computer said before you went into the race, the last thing you want to do is be reading the part number on the rear bumper of whoever's in front of you, or being annoyed by somebody behind. So half the battle here is just to try and find some clear air of any description.
I'm surprised that they've done essentially the same in the Penrite team. They've done the same strategy within a lap of each other, because you need to try to learn as much as you can tonight with 26 laps. Oh, here we go.
That looked like an awkward rejoin there for Fullwood, having to drop in behind Di Pasquale. One of the changes this year, Anton has moved from Dick Johnson Racing to Charlie Schwerkolt Racing, and from Shell to DeWalt. He's now in a Camaro, having been in a Mustang. And he got a ripple start earlier in the day with the fastest lap time in practice. And he was speedy earlier in the weekend as well. So Waters got a chunk of time now. It's nearly 3 seconds flat over Brock Feeney. And we've already had a good half a dozen odd cars that come in and taken this stop. And the car that's at the head of that queue at the moment is Matt Payne. Here is Matt. And here's the replay of what happened in the background here. So it took a little moment for Bryce to be able to thread the needle, Chad.
Well, there you go. And so Payne they brought in because they didn't want Brody Kostecki to undercut him. Again, good strategy. But banking on the tyre's going to last a long time.
Right, tyre power entry here. Will Davison and Jackson Evans are in. The helmet cam there on Will Davison's car as he now departs into the fast lane. 17 laps remaining, and stewards have noted that that pit lane incident requires no further investigation, so no case to answer there. Ryan Wood and Will Brown still at it now through the left-hander at turn 6 with Nick Percat, the watching brief, in behind them, and they're side by side through Corporate Hill. And sometimes this can end poorly, particularly if there's a touch, but they negotiate it nicely. Well done both. And this might expose Brown to an attack from Percat down the inside, and it does. How does this play out? Oh, how are they going there for track limits on the outside of the right-hand hairpin? Woody hangs on. Will Brown tucked in behind it, and this is music for Hill. That's the view of the top end of the circuit through 9, 10, 11. The eastern end, and now Brown has had enough. In for his first stop, or in fact his stop.
And it's been a pretty torrid run for him.
Yeah.
He's battled with Ryan Wood the whole time. He made good ground on the opening lap, and then Ryan Wood was able to put a move on him, and then he was able to get a move back again in front of the truck assist Mustang. Brian almost off the road there in the middle of turn 2. He ran very deep under brakes.
Was that Feeney slowing? It was. So we were going to stay with the onboard, but for whatever reason, Brock Feeney's checked up.
It's got a puncture. I reckon it looks like
it's on the skew.
It's down.
I haven't heard anything on team radio.
It's definitely got a ride. The left-hand front is really low. So it's a right left-hand rear, yeah. So see how it's so cocked down?
Easily done on the curbing around here. So our pit lane team will be on the job down here to understand what's going on. And what a blow for Brock Feeney, who was in search of a podium here after qualifying so beautifully well on the front row of the grid. Mostert now followed by Thomas Randall. These guys were sitting second and third. Oh, big lock-up for Chazzy.
So when Will Brown went back out, and he's just obviously climbed a little more because of the other stops, but when he went back out, he was 20th. So he was way back behind Reynolds and co, who had only put 2 tyres on. And remember, that policy of putting 4 tyres on would have to then demonstrate Will Brown pace later on to grab them.
That giant cross-up on the way into the pits for Mostert actually cost him a bit because he lost margin to Randall.
And here's the puncture. It's right off the bead now, completely off the wheel.
So team, we're set up to do 4 tyres regardless for Brock Feeney, as you can see. That tyre's now is crossing into the left rear as well, so they're going to have to get the spare. No, they're just grinding it on and sending him on his way. So it has all turned south for Brock Feeney in this one, but that left rear tyre is completely gone. I'll have a look at it as much as I can, but yeah, no, we won't be able to diagnose that because it's destroyed itself on the way back to the pits.
As Cam Waters comes in, let's have a look and see how this stop is executed. So Mostert may snatch that fastest lap away from Cam Waters.
I wonder if ball control going to play ball. Going around ball control by the look of this, buddy. Not playing ball today. Nice and smooth, got plenty of time.
They do have plenty of time. Here's Matt Payne. The reason we're looking at him, he's the first in the group that has done a compulsory stop. He's the next threat.
Pretty good. Go. Well done, guys. Excellent stop. Going there, mate. All yours.
That was a nice stop.
Matty Roberts is the car controller and the voice you can hear in the background, and it was a nice stop. It looked like it was all nice and calmly executed. And he's going to be under some pressure here, but remember, he's got 4 brand new tyres.
A little bit of exit curve there, gets it stopped. Matt doesn't have to cover him. He's not quite close enough yet, but he will be if he can come off this one. So where the trick is now, change the direction through turn 3, run it over the hill and dive down the bottom. He's close enough, and he does it. Well done.
Sized him up from the fairway back there and was able to get that done, and they're applauding those efforts down at Walkinshaw Andretti United. And actually closest to camera there was Richard Harris, who's one of the engineers that's moved from one team to another this year now. Payne's not surrendering, and he's got pressure on him at the moment from Thomas Randall. We're riding with him at the moment through the left-hander at turn 6. Doing another nibble down the inside. It's far from done here. In fact, he's got the nose up. So Chaz is out there in the weeds. You can see the dust coming up, and he's got the right rear right on the edge of the road as Payne fights back on the outside. And now there's another car in the mix. So Randall underneath with some hip and shoulder involved in this one, and he might have cleared him on drive, but there's not much in it when they sweep up towards turn 9. He's just got a tiny bit in hand, but he's on the wrong side of the road, Randall, and has to surrender. Tries to dive it back up the inside now in second gear. They make contact, and he half turns him. He can't do a bump and run there. So he gets the nose underneath him and gives him a run.
Turn off.
Now remember, this is a story about 2 tyres versus 4.
Yeah.
Because Payne stopped early for loaded side tyres. Mostert's been able to use those 4 tyres to get by, and now Randall, who also put 4 tyres on, is putting pressure on him.
And at Penrite, they're saying to Matty, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. And we saw evidence of that around the back at turn 6 and 7 a few moments ago. Waters and Mostert are commanding the top of the field here at the moment. It's a massive 15.9 seconds, Waters to Mostert, but the last spot on the podium is far from resolved at the moment. As Randall sizes up Matt Payne down here at turn 2. And they were railing on each other 1 lap prior.
He got too much dirt, too much curb then, Thomas. So he was trying to get the optimal run coming out of turn 2. He didn't get it off there well enough. And turn 3 and 4 were always going to be difficult. Now he's had to run it in there hard there, Matt Payne. This might work now in terms of the runoff there. And he didn't have any curb strikes, so he had no track limit issues for the exit of turn 5. He's got it down the inside this time. Nicely done. But will Matt Payne try to hang on? No, he can't. He just hasn't got the outright grip there now, Neil.
Done everything he can conceivably do to try and hang on to that position, but that was just a great exhibition there by Randall to be able to get through. So this is a big moment here for Cam Waters. Starts his championship with absolute perfection. Maximum points. Race number 1. And Waters, his very first win at Sydney Motorsport Park for a breakthrough.
Awesome job, mate.
And a gigantic margin back to Chaz Mostert. 16.8 seconds is the gap. And here, nose to tail at the end, both deserving of a podium. Thomas Randall gets it by 1 car length from Matt Payne, who put on a valiant display at the back end.
That was a great battle with Matt Payne and Thomas Randall for sure for the bottom of the podium. And a great day for Ford Mustang fans, Ford fans with Waters, Mostert, Randall, Payne, and a great fight back by Will Brown there to come from 11th to 5th. 17 seconds is an emphatic victory by Cam Waters.
Over Chaz Mostert, followed by Thomas Randall and Matt Payne. Then we've got Will Brown and Brodie Kostecki, then Heimgartner, Di Pasquale, Fullwood and LeBrock. At the top of our second page, Ryan Wood ended up 30-odd seconds behind the leaders, followed then by Percat Hill, Feeney, Reynolds, Evans, Courtney, Murray, Allen, Jones, Davison, Golding, Stanaway, Love and Crick.